Okay, one thing that you'll notice up here, if you can you see this yellow light here? You see up here there. These are the this is the input lights. There's 6 lights here, 6 yellow lights, and it says in, and those are the indicate which inputs are active. So if here's the first one, right? You can see that flashing. Yeah, you can see that. If I push this button, right? Now that fourth one is on. Why is that on? Because there's a normally closed push button, right? This is a stop push button, normally closed, okay? So that's what's going on here. And you'll see down here, because of this communication wire, it might be kind of hard for you guys to see, but there's output lights also. So they're going to correspond, our 4 outputs are just these lights here. But you'll see how it works, okay? So let's write a program. So I've got the RS Logics up here on the screen, and so I'll get its attention here. And first, there's always an end rung. So you get this kind of ladder logic for a PLC. What does the PLC do? It goes through your program, gets to the bottom rung, right? It scans the program down, and it collects all the inputs, right? And then it gets to the end, and the end tells it go back up to the top again. So it goes back up to the top, and now it knows all the inputs, and if the inputs are positive so that your output is energized, right, then it's going to energize the output, the next scan. But these scans are happening, 1,000 times a second, something like that, right? But that's what this end here is, this end rung. So we want to add something. We need to add another rung, and this is they call this is normally open. We call it normally open. They call it examine if closed, examine if open. Okay, that's like PLC speak. We don't need to worry about that. We put that in here. It's got this question mark. What are we going to call this? Well, we're going to call. Let's use this toggle switch here, right? And this is the first the input colon 0/0. So this is like the first word, right? And the first bit. First word, first bit. So 0/0. So I colon 0/0. And what are we going to call it? We're going to call it toggle 1. Okay, there we go. And put an output here. And what do you want? What do you want to happen? How about make it simple, just the blue light, right? So this is output O colon 0/0. So the same thing in the output section, and the first word, remember in computer speak and digital speak, always start with 0. So first word, first bit. So I'm going to call this capital O colon 0/0. Okay, what am I going to call this? I'll call this the blue light. Okay. All right. So now what? Now we've got this communication cable here with for this unit. So now we need to download this to the PLC. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we can save it. Yeah. All right. Yep. Downloading the program. Yep. want to go online. Now I can go up here, this is how I control it right here, and go online, but it's nice, it's got this nice window pops up, says, do you want to go online? Yeah, I want to go online, yeah. Okay. So now, well, I'm remote programming. Sorry, I got to go into run. Sure you want to change the processor mode to run? Yes, want it to run. Okay, now, there we go. Okay, right. So now, we've told it if we toggle this switch, then the blue light comes on, right? This doesn't do anything. This doesn't do anything, this doesn't do anything. And you see that now this input light is on because we've flipped the toggle switch, and this output light is on because we're outputting to the first output, right? Okay. Let's all right, well that's interesting. Let's do something a little different, and so we'll go back, we'll go offline here, and what do we want to do? Let's whoops, get its attention. Okay, come down here. Oh, yeah, in this program I need to add the rung. Okay, need to add the rung. Add it down here. Okay, get its attention. Okay, there we go. And all right. I want to put this here. Drag this down to here. Okay, now I want to change this to want to make this into a bit, not an output, but a logic bit, a bit that's going to be in memory. So this will be like what a relay would be doing, right? This is just an input and an output, what we just had, right? Now we're going to add some logic to it. So this is going to be B3:0/0. Okay, and here same thing. B3:0/0.
So this is
0/0.
same input output, right?
I'm sorry, what?
It's the same input output you what we just did. Right?
So far, yeah, this is the input, yeah, input 0, 0. This is output 0, 0. Yes, right. Okay. So one thing we should do is probably check it. It's called Verify Project. Sometimes they call it a compiler that changes this language that this program uses to the machine language before it sends it down to the machine. And if you compile it, it'll check it to make sure everything is okay. And down here, you see down at the very bottom, it says verify has completed, no errors found. Okay, so now we have our program is good. Next thing we need to do, we want to send this down. Let's download. Okay. And yes, we want to download. I'm going to take it out of run mode into program mode. Change back to run mode. Yes. We want to go online. Yes. Go online means it's feeding back to our so we can watch stuff happening in the program. Another thing I want to show you is, see these green bars? That means that is energized, right? So the toggle 1 switch is closed and that's energized. And The blue light is energized, so it's on. Also the bit, you can see that the bit is active. Let me turn this off. See, so you lose those green bars, right? So that's what that's telling you in this program. Okay, so nothing else here works. What if we want to, let's see here. Oh, I know what we can do. I know. Here's a good one. Let's we'll go offline. Okay, and we'll change this to a push button input. So instead of I00, let's make it the green button, right? I02. So I'm going to change this from 0 to 2. Okay, and oh, I got to rename it. Edit description. And we'll call this green push button. Okay, all right. Green push button. All right. So let's download this. Okay. Yes. Take it out of run mode, downloading, put it back into run mode. Yes, okay, now what? You want to go online. Online means we're going to see what's happening here on our laptop, okay? So now what? Now nothing's happening. Now we've downloaded this program. This switch 1 doesn't do anything. This doesn't do anything. Okay, now we've programmed this button to operate the blue light. Okay? Okay. So what if we have what if we put a branch? Oh, I gotta go back, go offline. Okay, and bring down this branch, get its attention, bring down this branch, put it there, put this over here, drag this over here, okay, and then bring this down. What if we want to latch it? I want to latch in that green push button, right? So that the blue light stays on. What do I want this to be?
A coil or?
Yeah, right, that bit at the end, right? B300. B300. Okay, all right. So let's download this. Just want to save it. Yep. Go into program mode, yes. Change back to run mode, yes. You want to go online, yes. Okay. So now, just as we saw, just as we've been seeing, now we're latched in through that bit, right? And the blue light stays on, even though we're no longer pushing the green button. How are we going to turn this off? Yeah, the stop button. Okay. Yeah, right. So, so let's go offline and we'll put, I think this is what we want here. This is, now this part's a little tricky because, it's not what we are used to. When you're working with PLCs, you'll see that, you would expect this would be a normally closed or an examine if open, but we'll see how this works. Oh, by the way, we're offline, right? We're disconnected from the machine, and this program is still in here, right? Okay, so we download the program, make sure it works, watch it do its thing here on the program, disconnect, close it up, and walk away, and that program is in there until, you know, we do something else with it. So let's do I:0/3. Okay, what are we gonna call this? The red button, yeah, stop, okay, stop button. All right, download this. Okay, yes. Okay, took it out of run mode. Now it's downloading the program. Go back to run mode, yes. Go online so we can watch it do its thing, right? Okay. So, see, this is kind of like the double reverse here with this bit, because that's a normally closed push button, which you would see out in the field. You want that out in the field, right? But I have to use the, what looks like a normally open bit in the program. So now what happens? Now we press the green push button. We're ready, right? Yeah, we're running. Okay, turn it on. Red push button, turn it off. All right. Okay, so yeah, green push button turns it on, red push button turns it off, like that. And obviously we can do all kinds of stuff. We can add another rung here for, you know, turn the yellow light on at the same time, or turn the, let's see here. We'll do one more and then I'll show you something different. Call that the yellow light, okay. Download this. Download. All right, so now what? So now I've got this yellow light with this examine if open. Looks like a normally closed contact here, right? And the yellow light's gonna be on. And what do we do? What happens if we press the green push button? Yeah, the blue light comes on, the yellow light goes off, right? Because it's controlled by this bit here. Okay, and you can see up here, I hope you've been watching these lights, because that's a good diagnostic tool, right? If you are working on, you suspect a problem, you can look here, you know that, okay, yeah, my first push button is connected to here. You push the push button, does this light illuminate, right? Is the PLC getting the signal? Also the same thing here for the output, you know. This first output light is illuminated. Is that, whatever that's hooked up to, is that happening? Okay, so you can use that. I had a couple guys here that worked together, I think like a chief and a first for one course, and they said that they were working with a PLC or a microprocessor. Something was happening real fast, right? And they couldn't figure out if it was sequencing correctly or not, you know, and was there a problem? So what they did was they got a camera with a what do you call that, high speed, you know, but you can even do it with your phone, you know. And so they filmed it at a lot of frames per second, and then they were able to slow it down and see which light was going, you know, in which sequence and stuff. And that, yeah, they said, yeah, they figured it out. So yeah, it was pretty cool. Okay, so there's a lot you can do here. So here you have just the regular, let's see, just here you have, here you have timers and counters, on timers, off timers. This is off delay, retentive timer on delay, counter up, count down. This is reset. Other stuff, inputs and outputs, okay. Compare, limit, mass comparison for equal that, well, that's kind of an advanced thing. Equal, not equal to. So you can make all these comparisons. Greater than, I mean, you can be counting, right? Compute, math, add, subtract, multiply, divide, square root, negative, all that stuff. Move. You can you can generate numbers like how many times have you done something, right? How many times has something happened? And then you want that to come up on a display, right? How many repetitions, how many times has this blue light come on, right? And you want to press a button. Well, you have a counter in your program, and then it'll be a number. I'll bring up a program with counters and timers on it, and I'll show you how all that works. And then, but you can move that number to the output for the display, right? And so it'll display that number. And file shift sequencer, yeah. Shifts and sequencers, that's like if you have like a conveyor belt, you think of a conveyor belt, and you've got individual products moving down the conveyor belt, and you've got like stuff examining the product, and there's a bad one, and it gets picked up and, you know, sent back into the reject bin. And so that space, now you need to keep track of that space, because you don't want, you know, the next process to happen in this space. So you would have a sequencer that would move it down. It knows how to do all that stuff. Okay, so let me open another program. I think I gotta go offline here. Okay. So, what this program is doing is going to count up, it's going to make the yellow light flash, and it's going to count up to 10 flashes and then stop. We also have a blue light that can come on. We'll see how that works. So what's happening here is, these are both on delay timers, but the way you use these, I'm going to use this as the yellow light off. Okay, so the time base is 1 second, the preset is 6, so the yellow light's going to be off for 6 seconds, and you'll be able to see the seconds count up here. And then it's going to do its thing. You have 3 functions that you can access from this timer. The timer enabled, so if this whole rung is true, this will be true, and you can use this different places. Or the done, this is called the done bit, so it's counted up to 6. This is not going to be true until the timer times up to 6. Then this becomes true. And there's another one called the TT, the timer timing. So whenever this is timing, so while it's going from 0 to 6, that will be true, and then turns off. So kind of related in the inverse way to this done bit. So like so here we have this, we're going to enable this off timer, right? When it counts to 6, this done bit is down here. It's going to energize down here. It's going to turn this timer on, right, and turn on the yellow lamp. Then when this is done, it goes through this reset and starts the off timer again. Then we have the counter, counts up to 10. Here, this is the preset is 10. The accumulation is 0. Now you'll see that counting up to 10, and then that number comes down here to this greater than or equal to function. The B is 10. This is where it's going to count up here. When it counts up to 10, it's equal to, you're going to energize this bit, and it's going to turn it off. Okay. Let's download this. So start is the green push button. And so here, you look here, you see it's timed up to 6. So then the yellow light comes on for 3 seconds, right? And then goes off. It's off for 6. Each time that cycles, then it sends that number down here to the counter. And that'll count up to 10 and then send that over here. We also have this, we can turn on this blue light, which is going to be opposite the yellow light, if we're interested in that for some reason. So now they're switching back and forth, but we can turn that blue light on and off. We've got that programmed in. count it up to 10, and then stop. Okay? Now, down here, this last rung, this is the reset for the counter. This is the green switch, I call it the green switch. It's the switch that's next to the green button, the green light. Reset that, and then you can restart. Again, I should have shown you that you can't restart without flipping that green switch, but and we can go offline. Okay. Program is in here now. We can disconnect our laptop, button this guy up. Come on, there we go. Button that guy up. And now that program is in there, and that's gonna run. One more thing that's interesting, kind of in the background, on this timer here, you can go and let's see here. I want to go to the data table. How do I can't get to the data table. Go to data table. Okay. So this is a data table for the for this timer. So this one is T40. So here's the enable bit, the TT bit, the done bit, set for 1 second, preset. All this stuff is here in the data table. So if we oh, we're not connected. Oh, sorry. Yeah, if we were connected up, you could see these numbers going back and forth, the ones and zeros, right? But I've disconnected now, so we're offline. Okay, and then go to the data table for the bit. This is kind of more interesting. This is what makes sense. So each word. So this is, you know, and you can have, look at all this stuff you can have. This, you can have this many, like, relay contact. These are like relay contacts. You can have this many. So there's 16 across and 31 down, 32 down, however many that is. It's going to be, more than that. 32 times 16, it's going to be about 500. You got about 500 contacts you can access, right? So, yeah, and you'll see these guys flip back and forth. So this is, when I say a word, I mean a 16-bit word. That's why you see B301, that's what is B300, this bit, and this is the bit that's highlighted, right? And see, I think here we have, must use different bits. No, I guess we didn't. Oh, yeah, we got, B301, so that would be this guy here, going back and forth, okay? But you can access all this. You can go in here and set that to 1. You know, and actually manipulate the stuff from the data table, all that. So it's very, very powerful. Okay, just this simple. This is a free program here. Yeah, and you can do all this. I mean, you can do fantastic stuff. I mean, this is just the tip of the iceberg, what I've got here, you know. With all this data manipulation, you could run like a pretty, like a small shop, you know, a little manufacturing plant just from right here. Okay, so let me show you something else talking about that. What did I do with that? That simulator. Oh, yeah. So this is a simulator that we used in school. So we're not hooking up. This is like simulating the PLC, right? And they have different simulations. You do this, you know, and you can imagine how that works. And then they have this, so you have the limit switches and the motor, and you get the feedback from the motor from that encoder. It's kind of like not like a tachometer, but like a counter. Each time it comes around, it counts up. And then you got this, you know, inputs and outputs, right, and different stuff. You can make all kinds of different stuff happen, but you have these silos. So this here, you've got these boxes coming across, and you know, here's the sensor. So you know, the box gets here. You need to stop the conveyor belt, and then open up the solenoid valve to fill up the box. When it gets to a certain level, turn it off and turn the conveyor belt back on, and all this kind of stuff. Oh, no, I don't want that, I want this. And traffic simulator with pedestrian signs. This is pretty complicated. I mean, there's a lot going on here. This was not an easy simulation. You might think, oh yeah, well, you know, you just gotta get some lights, and you know. And you know, depending on what you want, you know, the cars to do, you know, you see the cars and what you want to have happen and all that kind of stuff. And then the 4-floor simulator, elevator simulator. Yeah, I mean, something like this is just unbelievable. You know, you got to decide. Like if you're on the hardest part is like if you're on the 2nd floor and somebody pushes the button on the 4th floor to go up, and somebody pushes the button on the 3rd floor to go down. How do you get it to like not stop at the 3rd floor on the way up? You know, you got to go to the 4th floor first. Makes sense, and then pick up this person going down and all this stuff. It's pretty incredible. So just like this little machine here, that's what that can do, you know. And it's.
So you were saying that you could run a shop with just that little machine?
Yeah, right, yeah. Well, I mean, you're limited to the 4 outputs, I suppose, on this one. I don't know if they have an extender, but like you see those module type, we saw a picture of those. A lot of times what that's doing is extending the inputs and outputs. Right, but a lot of these, this is basic one, an old basic one. But you get something that costs, you know, a few $100, and you know, it'll have many more inputs and outputs, and then you can get extensions for that too. You get expansion cards or expansion modules. Yeah. All right. So that's PLCs.